Hello, I'm Louise Alma, the founder of Prosperity Leap. Today, in this video, I'm going to show you how I use the tool in BuilderAll, the directories tool, to create my own link wizard tree. So I've been accumulating a lot of links. There are links that are useful to me, and I thought maybe some of the people that are in the same industry as I am might find them useful too. So I took this directory from BuilderAll, which is normally intended to do a directory for, let's say, a mall or a certain business area, which is by location, and I transformed it to use it for a link tree for my categories and subcategories. Then, as I have new links that I want to add that are useful for myself and I think might be useful for other people, I can just easily build them in here, and I've got everything I need. So I can have them by different categories down here. I can drill in. I've got my links here. And then down the road, sometimes what I plan to do is add my own opinions about things. So here for Pexels, for example, I talk about the pros and the cons and some tips for using it. So this is just a way for me to aggregate a lot of information into a useful place for my own recollection, and also to help some of the people who might also be reading some of my content. So how does this all work? So we are using the directory builder. That's the app in BuilderAll. Perhaps I should go back and show you where you get this. So you just come under apps and you go to directory builder. You can only have one per big account. So even though in BuilderAll you can, if you have a premium account, you can have 15 domains. It's only one builder for the entire account that you have. So just so you know that. So let me go through and show you a little bit of what we're going to do today. So we're going to build what I would call my own link tree with the BuilderAll directory. And there are 4 things that we have to do to get started. The first thing we have to do is we have to create the places. So remember that the directory is normally used for a physical directory, but we're going to use it as an internet directory. So for country, state, city, and neighborhood, we're going to set up internet, software, website, and links. So let me just show you how that translates. When you come over to a particular item, you'll notice you see website, software, internet. So that's where that's going to show up. You could create categories if you want. You can't do any kind of a filtering that way. So I just created one set that looks like that. The next thing that we have to do is we also have to create our categories and subcategories. So you already saw that I have a category going here. So let's go back a bit. Over here we have a category of publishing tools, and then I created some subcategories like images, for example. So here's a great example. I'm collecting different places on the internet where you can get free imagery, and then I can send people who are looking for content straight to this particular link. All right, next we have to create our ad types. Okay, so there's going to be 3 ad types. I recommend, and I'll show you this, but I did a ton of experimenting, so just trust me, you'll save yourself a lot of pain and suffering. I use 3 ad types, one called simple, one's called links, and one's called reviews. So let me show you the difference. So here with Unsplash, this would be a simple one. Notice that there is nothing below. It's just a plain link. If I click on that, I'll do that, and it just is going to open that up in its own web page. So that's what I would call simple. Now let's go back and let's click on Pexels. So this one, I would flag this one as reviewed. That's one of the 3 options. I have simple, links, and reviews. So that way, you'll see in a minute why. It just helps you to remember what you've done for which of these ads. So I've written a bunch of content here, and I want to just put a note here. After the content, I put a ton of white space, because way down here at the bottom is a map. There's no way to disable that, so I just put tons of white content in there. The third one is links. So sometimes I haven't wanted to put in a review, but I have a bunch of references I want. So let's see here. I believe I have one under Amazon. Yes, here we go. So in Amazon's case, I have a whole bunch of different links here. So if we can click on one, we just click on it, it's going to go to its own place here. There we go. So I used links because it told me that's not really a review, but it is still linking information. Now, since we're here, let me tell you a tip. By default, when you go to create your ad content, there is no ability to create these hyperlinks. When you type in the text, it doesn't automatically turn to a hyperlink. So what you want to do is just type it into something like Word or something else that automatically changes links into hyperlinks, and then just copy it in here. Okay, so we have done, let's just reference here for a second. We are going to create the places, the categories and the subcategories. We're going to create the ad types, and then we're going to build our directory. So let me show you a little bit about how this works. Now, I can't create a new directory because I can only have one on my account. So I'm just going to show you some of how the directory looks. There, that. This is the directory, right? Yeah, let's go here. Okay, so let's start with places. Country. Let me show you. So remember I said internet. Let's remember what we're doing here. We are doing internet software website links. Country is internet. So this is how I did it. So you just put the word internet here. It does force you to put some stuff in, some defaults like ISO, IS. I just picked the US, a capital, a currency. None of these things are going to be relevant, but because they're mandatory fields, you have to put something in. Just the only important thing is that it says internet there. Next one, state. Okay, so we're going to build, right? We start with the one we built previously, so internet, and we put software, and then again, it's probably going to ask you for a couple of things, whatever you want. The only word that's going to matter is that word software. Cities. Okay, getting a little simpler. Okay, here we go. Internet, software, websites, just like that. And then neighborhoods. Oh, it keeps popping up, those pop-ups. Okay, and so here we go. Internet, software, website, links. So you see how it's building on that, just like those 4 things. So do those 4 and you're good to go. So the next thing that we're building, internet, software, website, link, those are the places. And then we're going to build the categories and the subcategories. Okay, so in this case again, I guess I should say, there's a reason that you do this in this order. You have to have these in place before you build your directory. But categories are really simple. Let's go look at publishing. There we go. Pretty darn simple. You put the name that you want, a little bit of a description. You're good to go. And then in the subcategories, you pick this one, and then you just create these. Again, very simple. Now, the last one is the ads. So because, at least for mine, because I'm doing a link tree, I'm not direct selling here. I'm providing links, content. I could put affiliate links in if I want, but I'm not selling anything. So I don't need any of the kind of ad plan content. So here are the 3 that I talked about: featured, simple, and reviewed. Remember, that's going to define how much content gets shown. So let me just remind you of this. It's going to show you how much content gets defined here. So this would be a featured, would be what I would use for links. If I went into something like IDPLR, this is going to be simple. So it depends how much white content is here. And very simple. Basically, you're going to create a name, and it's either simple or featured. Okay. So that's why in my little presentation here, I show you simple is simple, links is featured, and reviewed is featured. Okay, that's it. And now you're ready to build the directory. So you come back over here to BuilderAll. Oh, let me just repeat. What did I say here? Sorry. Okay, when you go to build a directory, I won't be able to show you this. So make note of this. You're going to choose the category option. Because I can't rebuild my directory, I already chose category. But when you create it, it's going to ask you what you want to create it based on, and you're going to say category. And then as we go through, we're going to select all the categories and the subcategories, the default layout, and save it. So will just show you kind of what it looks like. So this is this top option. And the first time out, you're going to create new. So I think there's a screenshot. That's right. You're going to go directory, and it's going to come up and ask you for a new directory. Okay, so mine's already created. You're going to give it a name. I like links, something easy like that. Nothing else that you can change because it's going to be tied to your BuilderAll email address. But let's come over here and look. So this is what it's going to walk you through. You're going to give it a name, a subdomain. So if you've got, I would suggest you use a subdomain of a domain that's already in BuilderAll. So I used links.prosperyleap.com, super easy. Okay. Now here are, obviously, okay, we're going to create the country. See how we're coming through these? Here we're going to select the one state that we have. We're going to select the ones. So you have to do this. Okay, we've done those 4. Now, this is really important. Now you're going to come over to categories. You have to pop over manually to categories, select the categories you want, and all the subcategories that you've set up. So as a note, let me pause for a second, because remember this section, every time you add more categories or subcategories going forward, you're going to have to come here and select them. Okay, so when you've selected everything you want, you come to this next screen. I don't have much in here yet. This is like you can do SEO and stuff like that. I don't have any Google tracking or any of that kind of stuff. I did put a little icon there. You go to the next page. There's only one option, so don't get excited by this. If you choose that one, no other choice. This is the really important little green button here. This is the save button. Okay, and then when you save it, when you come back to your directory, you'll be good to go. So that's how you create your directory, but it's still not live. Okay? So there's 2 buttons here. So let me just come back to my presentations. So we chose the category option. We selected all of our categories and subcategories. We chose the default layout. We chose save. And now we need to build a directory. So the first time out, this is a little complicated. You have to build it and then you publish it. And I believe the build is the one with the world, and then the publish is this one. I can't remember. Going forward, once you've built the directory the first time, you don't ever rebuild it, but you do keep republishing it. So let's go back to BuilderAll and see which is which. Oh, okay, so the circle, the circle is the build, and then the next one is the publish, and that's what's going to make it live. So once you're done for the first time, then whatever you created, so mine would be links.prosperyleap.com as a subdomain. Once it's been built, it will be live. It won't look very pretty, but it will be there. You'll have your categories and your subcategories ready to go. So now let's go and do some customizations. Where's my presentation gone? Here. Okay, so we're now live. Now the fun starts. The next thing you need to do is create a couple of ads, because if you don't have any ads, it's going to be really hard to get a feel for how you want your link tree to look. So I did a ton of testing. So this page is so valuable to you. Okay, these are the pieces of information these are the only pieces of information you need to put in, and they're probably the only piece of information you should put in. Okay, so I'm going to go and show you this now in BuilderAll. All right, we're going to go down here to ads. I did not choose to use customers. I found no use for it, so I skipped the customers completely. So let's go straight into ads. I don't know, let's look at a simple one. Here's IDPLR. All right, so here we go. Remember the 3 types? This is simple, so it means that, and let me bring IDPLR up here. Here it is, right? We don't have much here. We've got a little bit of, so we've got IDPLR, we've got a little bit of content here with a descriptive here, and then if we click more, it takes us here. Okay, so let's correlate this. So the company name is right here. That's going to be your company name. the URL. I wonder if I can open it in another link. Perfect. Right here. This is going to be, if we click on this, yeah, there it is. You see that? IDPLR. So it does have its own unique link if you want it. Now I'm getting all messed up. Let's pin this. Okay, here we go. So you have to have that. Now you have a little bit of a description. You can have 3 lines, and those 3 lines are right here. Those are the 3 lines that you can have. Then you have to put internet, software, website, links. You can't get past those 4. That's why it was so critical. And if you ever get to a place where they won't show up, you just have to reload the page. Sometimes it's a bit flaky. Okay, leave everything else blank except for this website. However you type it in here, it's going to appear exactly right there. Okay. So, okay, and then the categories. So here are your categories: publishing tools, PLR content. Now the cool thing is that you can actually have up to 3 categories and 3 subcategories here. So you could have one ad, or let's say I have one area here for free images. Okay, I've got that under publishing tools, but that might also be really useful when I decide to do a category for web development tools. Those free images would be appropriate there. So again, I can just add more categories and subcategories here. You always have to have a category and a subcategory. They are mandatory. So those are the only things that I suggest you fill in. I've done the research. That's all you need. Next page, here we go. You need to upload an image. And I worked out that the image should be, I think, about 800 by 1500. So 800 high, 1500 wide. You don't want it too big because you want it to load quickly, and it's not going to show in big resolution anyway. Okay. And then remember, if it's featured, we're going to write some content and put some blank lines. So let's go back and take a look. So nothing below here because this is a simple one. And this image shows here. So see, we don't need to be very high resolution. And then it shows here again, but you can never blow it up. So there's no point in having a high resolution image there. Okay, so that's it. Everything else, notice there's other things that we can fill in, but they're all, notice how they all drop off. When we come over here, all we see is the Twitter feed doesn't go away. I haven't been able to figure out how to get rid of that one. So you could put another descriptive in there if you wanted to, but those are the 3. This is your subcategory. Pretty freaking cool, I think. All right, now, really important, get to the save. If you don't get to the save, you have nothing if you don't save it. And the first time that you save it, it usually will have a red dot, and you need to click that to publish it for the first time so that you know that it's going to be live. And then as soon as you do that, you can come back over to your link tree, and it should be your first one, should be here. Very exciting. Okay, how far have we gotten? Let's go look at a featured one. Featured one. What do I have for a featured one? Let's go look. Oh, the Pexels one. We did Pexels was a featured one. Somebody's going to write me now and say I'm saying it all wrong. Sorry. All right, so Pexels. I decided to write some content here. Okay? So let's see how Pexels looks as an ad. Okay, so let me remind you again. This time, instead of a simple, I did reviewed. Now, if I move this over, can I move this over? Let's just back up for a second. This is why I use those 3 different ad types. It helps me remember how much information I have provided. Reviewed. Okay, so Pexels, this just builds by itself. Your description, remember, you always have to have internet, software, website, link. Non-negotiable, they're mandatory. The URL is here. That's important. You don't have to put www or HTTPS in front or any slashes around that. I think it looks cleaner if you just drop the www there. Okay. Again, here's your category, your subcategory. Now, onto this page. Okay, so there's our link, and this is what it looks like. So we got just content. And this is what I mean, that you don't have very much in the way of formatting. So any formatting that you want, you should need to do in another place like Word or some kind of rich text editor, and then just paste it over here. That's how you get things like hyperlinks, and maybe you can even get color. I didn't try that actually, but that's you can paste content in here. So now look at this. If you go into if you choose the feature option, you have a map, because the directory was designed to help people get places, right? So you have this map, and I was never able to figure out a way to get rid of it. So what I do is I always just put tons of white space in there. Okay, so let's go back and find my pixels, and I'll show you what I mean. Pixels, here we go, here it is. Okay, so my theory is that somebody would just read this, there we go. But if you scroll way down, there is the map, and it randomly shows you places. It's never the same place. I don't know how it picks places, but anyway, there we go. All right, next, let us go to, how far have we gotten? Oh yeah, there we go. We've written the content. Okay, we're all good. Next. Oh, there's the tip about pasting in. So if you want links, put them in one application and then paste them in there. Okay, so now we've got some ads. Let's go customize the content. Now, this is why I'm using my own to show you, because I want to show you all the things that are possible. When you start out creating your site, it will not look like this at all. It will look quite different, but it's so much fun to do this part of it. This is the kind of fun stuff that is the reward at the end of all of this experience. So let's just get out of here. Cancel out. Okay, so to edit, you go to your directory back up at the top, and you click this little button, edit. No, this one, edit layout. The second one in. Edit layout. Here we go. And this is just clicky, 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 clicky everywhere. Everything here is customizable. So you can customize, you click here and you can customize your header, and you can click here and you can customize what your text is. You can click here and you can customize. I only showing the second row. You'll probably see the first, the second, and the third row. Let's get rid of a couple of these. It gets crazy really fast. Down here, you can customize. Oh, that's a little bit farther. You can customize if you want to show footer content or copyright content. Okay. A little trick, by the way. Sometimes you can't seem to get rid of stuff. So what I do is I just make it all white. That's a trick. Clicking into these places, you can put your images and the links that you want in here. Okay, so this is all the home page. You can click up here and you can change the name of these. And these, you can say if you want to show it or not. If you want to show the advertise here button, look at all these things. Like, it's so much fun to do. Okay, that is this home page. You see that little guy right there that says home? Okay, now, make sure you save after the time you make any changes. And then to get to the ads list, you come here. Now, I don't know how, so this is a little awkward to do. It was designed to you can put all these different ads around it. And I started out doing that, and then I didn't like the look. I wanted it to just be focused on the ads in a really clean experience. But you can play around with this. You'll see I have two that I started with. They still show here. I haven't been able to figure out how to get rid of them, but they don't show when I go live. So let's go through and show some of the more clickies. Okay, this one is, again, you change that. You can have the same background I chose to, or a different one. What's this? So these are all the different Google ad slots that you can set up if you want. So they go, I'm not sure which is which, but I think it's 5 down here, and maybe that's number 6. Okay, now even though they're called Google ads, you don't have to make them Google ads. And then here are all these different banners. You can have all these different things if you want. All the, like, it's very cool, all the things that you can do. Oh, this must be the custom Google ads. Okay, as you can see, I didn't add ads. I just wanted this middle section here. So let me show you. Right, this is my middle section here in my ad list. Right, you can see I only wanted to have this button that says new search, and I just wanted this middle section here. Okay. And I customized the coloring. So if we come back here, you just click here, and then you can customize the suggestions. You can customize the header. You can customize the coloring down here. You'll notice these little stars. Can you see this? Let me see if I can kick out of here for a second. Cancel. Do you see these little stars right here? And maybe you can even hardly see that. It's dark gray. So anything that's featured, it has another box around it and has a star here. So then you know it's featured. So you can play with the coloring of that. And then these three little buttons here, by default, I think it's like a telephone and something, but I'm not doing a local business thing, so I didn't want to show those things, and I couldn't disable them. So I did this somehow. How did I do this? I changed them all to white. Let's see here. I think I did. The read more I made green. The see more, there we go. See more. I made that white. Oh, the buttons, here we go. The buttons text color and the buttons background color. I made them both full white. So we still have the three little dots here, but that kind of brings attention. Maybe people will think it's like just a visual cue. I also did, what other things did I do? I changed this to, it's by default to blue. I changed it to a black, and I turned off the ad thing. So you see, it just takes some time and you just play with it a little bit. Okay, now down here, load more results. Oh, nicely turned to black. That's good. Okay, so basically that is what, so those were there. I turned I showed the banner, but I didn't show additional links. And you just click your way through it. Okay, same thing down here. I'm not showing the copyright or anything because I'm going to embed this into my website. All right, so remember to save, and then you can add these two buttons, but I disabled these buttons. They don't show. This is where you could, if people were wanting to like self-buy, so that doesn't make any sense for me. And I disabled the contact button as well because I don't need that. I'm going to embed this in my own website. So that's all those things. It's so much fun to do. You will love it. Okay, so those were those buttons. And then the last thing is how to embed it into BuilderAll. Okay, so you can do this. Okay, so this is it. It's all by itself, right? Links.prosperityleap.com, but I feel it's very disconnected. But you may decide you like this. You just, you can put your logo here. I got rid of my logo. When you play with it, you may find that you just want this as its own experience. You don't want it inside of another website. But for me, it was all part of my brand story. Maybe I didn't mention this, but these down here are just links to go. These are specific links that go to specific pages. So if I come back here, so there's just different ways to navigate, right? Just different links. But I wanted to have it all inside of my website. So where's my website? Here we go. Okay. I thought I had my website up here. Let me just go back here again, prosperityleap.com. So it's part of the story of my brand and the tools that I want to provide to people who come to see me. So this is my homepage. This is my store where people can buy stuff. And then these are going to be the links. So I can just send people to the website. And then if they want to read the magazine, they can go read the magazine. But the links, see how it's just embedded nicely in here? So it really makes sense. I don't need to have anything else. I've already got my bottom section. If anybody wants to contact me, it's right down there. They can do that. It's all part of this story, right? So it doesn't feel like it's anything other than just part of the website design, right? If I do this, right? It's all just linked. It's all the same kind of experience inside of my website. So how did I do that? I used the iframe. So here's my web page, BuilderAll, right? I just created a web page inside of my thing. And then I just used the iframe. And I added, see, links.prosperityleap.com. And I did full width. And then, I don't never know what this is, but I checked it anyway. The key thing is the full width. And then you just have to make it small. Really small. So that you can get down here and you can drag your iframe height down so that it does all fit in. Oops, that's way too big. And that's really all you have to do there. Just one reminder, because I always forget to do this, I guess maybe 2 reminders. I did push this up a little bit. So do I have the links? Yeah. So see, there's a white banner up here at the top. There's actually, when you're actually editing, this can actually be a piece of advertorial content if you just have a separate site. So that white, I didn't want that. So what I did is I pushed this up just that much more, so it was right up there at the top there. So you can see here's my little editing buttons there. Don't forget to go to mobile and change your height here. Where is it? Right here. The minimum height, in my case, I found it to be about 1750 was ideal. Then that makes sure that everything gets in when it's on the mobile view. It looks really cool on the mobile view. Just make sure that you got the height there. Okay. And so that's really it. Was there anything else I wanted to cover? Nope, that was it. So I hope this inspires you to create your own directory. It's one of the pieces that comes with BuilderAll, which makes it so amazing. So just use this for creating your own link tree, a really beautiful link tree in my opinion. And I hope that you might contact me and let me know. Just send me a link on Facebook or here at support@prosperityleap.com. So let me just type that in so you can see it. support@prosperityleap.com. Yeah, if you could send me a link, I would love to see what you've done with your own directory link tree. So again, I'm Louise Alma, and I want to say thank you for sticking with me. I want to wrap up with a call out to Jackie at BuilderAll, because it was one of Jackie's, when she does her physical information product training, she did 2 sessions on how to create a directory, a more traditional directory, but what she did sparked my attention. I didn't even know that this existed. And so by watching her videos, I learned how to create a directory, and then I was inspired to create a link tree out of it. So big call out to all those wonderful people at BuilderAll and the training they do. And I hope that this inspires you to do something cool today and to build something fun with BuilderAll. Thanks, everybody.